For my spontaneous talk, I would like to speak about indigenous people in Mexico. Since Mexico is celebrating this 2010, its 200 years of independence and 100 years of revolution, I thought it would be interesting to speak about one of the most important aspects in Mexican history, which is their native indigenous people. So before the independence, the Spanish conquerors came and they tried to impose their government into these natives. They did this through many ways, one of which was forced evangelization. They did this at first by teaching the indigenous people in their native language. Later they figured out that there were too many dialects in Mexico, so they just picked the most spoken one, which was Nahuatl, and later decided that there was enough population speaking in Spanish for them to eliminate dialects in schools and only speak Spanish. This particular aspect is very interesting because nowadays, by law, Mexico considers all these dialects to be, well, the most spoken dialects, which are, I believe, to be the 6 to 10, are as equal as Spanish. In practice, they're not. That's not how it goes, or is spoken really. But it's nice to know that in paper, at least in theory, that the general idea is to give indigenous people their place in history and in our culture. In our Constitution, the Article 2nd, it says that Mexico is a pluricultural nation. This was put in not so many years ago during President Cedillo's presidency, which was 2 presidencies back, so that we could acknowledge acknowledge indigenous people in Mexico as equals, or like a national treasure, historically speaking. Nowadays, indigenous people have many rights over regular people, which can be kind of a controversy, since the Constitution also says that we're equal. At the same time, it's recognizing these other people as separating them from everyone is equal, but that's another topic all altogether. Anyway, I believe that indigenous people in Mexico are something to are endangered species, to put it in that way, and hopefully they will always be strong and be permanent in our history. I had the opportunity to hear two people speaking a native dialect here in Los Angeles, and I thought it was Spanish in its most beautiful sense. So hopefully indigenous people will convey this knowledge to their future generations, and will still have that rich diversity in Mexico's population.